I am aware of it can equal I am comfortable with it. So what do I mean by that? Well, when it comes to relationships with certain people, perhaps with behaviors they have, you may not feel comfortable with it. You may point something out to somebody that may be considered a problem or concern, and the person may say, I'm aware of it, right? Or they might say, you're right, right? You're right, I am aware of it. So they'll say this sometimes, and in a lot of situations, this is a form of dismissiveness, because when they someone tells you, I am aware of it, and there's no really change in behavior, right? It's kind of the same thing. Like, for example, someone who's late a lot, they just don't respect your time or other people's time, a form of being inconsiderate, right? So someone shows up late, they're always just habitually late. So a person like this may address it when it's pointed out to them, this behavior of theirs. They may say, I'm aware of it, right? As if somehow being aware of something makes it okay. And it does not. So a lot of times people will say, I'm aware of it. They might even say, you're not wrong. And they'll say this, right? But then there's never a change in behavior. So it is a form of dismissiveness. So do not be impressed with people's mere awareness, right? Someone says they're aware of something. It's not good enough, nor does it mean it's okay. Not without follow through in that, okay, now there's a change in behavior. Because if there is a change in behavior after someone says, I'm aware of something, okay, that's different. That's showing some respect, right? As far as maybe boundaries, things like that, when you try to let somebody know what you feel comfortable with or what you might need in order to be in the relationship, rules and limits, right? So sure, if they make a change in behavior and there seems to be some improvement, then yeah, they're showing you that they see the value in it. They see the value in modifying their behavior or doing something different so you can feel either comfortable or respected within a situation, within a context in relationships. However, when people say, I'm aware of it, I know, you're not wrong, and there's never a change in behavior, then yeah, that's pretty dismissive by default. And also, they just do not see the value. They do not see the value in wanting to make changes in behaviors with regards to your boundaries. And the thing is, this also by default would be, yeah, they do not see the value in it. Do not see the value in doing it, because motivation to do anything, behavior, changes in behaviors, or what you make a priority has to do with where you place value or what has value to you. So if something is internalized as being important, you're going to prioritize it. You're going to do it. You get the idea. So motivation for anything is a byproduct of where you place value. I have another video I made about that. So by default, if a person's not willing to prioritize particular behaviors because they don't see the value in it, then by default, they don't see the value in you either, right? Which you could say is a form of disrespect. So I point this out because these are red flags if you're actually paying attention, because with rules and limits within relationships, which are also known as boundaries, they can vary from person to person. And the truth is, people don't have to do anything. That's the truth. It's a free world, if you will. So, well, depend on what your definition of freedom is, right? But people are free. People are free to essentially behave the way they want to do. And all people behave in a way that reflects their values, which has to do with what's important to them. And that's what drives their behavior. So there's two options here. Here's what usually plays out. If you have someone in your life in a relationship and there's particular things that you may feel uncomfortable with, and so you might say something about it. You decide to communicate honestly. You share what you think and how you feel about a situation. Now, you might even say what you need from it. So this is where you would be teaching someone, these are the rules, here's my limits, here's what I need, right? In order to stay in this relationship. Relationships are voluntary, right? So two possible outcomes. The person considers it, right? Well, this is what this person is pointing out to me, what they feel uncomfortable with. And this is also what they're asking of me. So if a person places enough value on you, they see the value in you, that's important, you're an important person to them, then yeah, they will respect your boundaries. They do not have a problem with that, because they see the value in you as greater than what it may cost them to respect your boundaries, right? So they do it. So then things are fine. The other outcome, which can happen, people will become defensive. They'll try to gaslight you, perhaps make you try to make you feel like you're doing something wrong to have boundaries with them. And so they're not going to respect your rules, limits, boundaries. They'll say stuff like, well, I'm aware of it, right? Or you're not wrong, or I don't disagree. But then they keep doing the same things. So what they're blatantly telling you with the behavior is, yeah, I'm aware of it, that you feel disrespected by this, or you feel uncomfortable with it, but I'm going to do it anyways. There you go. I'm going to cross your freaking boundaries, right? So in these situations, then really it's your decision. Are you going to enforce your boundaries? If you do, yeah, so in this person, you cut them off. You regulate them to a lesser role, perhaps, right? Or just cut them off altogether. So your boundaries are a filter, if you will, that determine who has access to your life and who can stay in your life. And this means that you have to make decisions to enforce them. So your boundaries, which follow from knowing what your values are, right, are going to determine who stays in your life, who comes in your life, right? Because that is a filter, if you will, that is allowing people access to you and what you tolerate for who can stay in your life. So never forget that. So these type of red flag behaviors, I encourage people, right, to pay attention to this stuff. Ultimately, it is up to you. You get the value that you get in life is the value that you settle for as a function of what type of boundaries you have, you have. So the truth is, everyone will find their people in life that will be good for them. People have different values, and that's fine. Not everybody's going to want to prioritize the same things. So if you have healthy boundaries, what you end up with are people that are more similar to you, similar values, where it works better. If you do not have healthy boundaries, what happens is you usually end up compromising your own needs and values only to augment and support other people's values, meaning other people's priorities, what they want. So then it becomes out of balance. So within a healthy relationship that's interdependent, yeah, it's a give and a take. Both people's values are reasonably considered, respected, and prioritized. It's not just all one-sided. So I think you get the idea. So if you want to have healthy boundaries with people, can't be impressed by people's acknowledgement of their awareness, right? That can't be good enough. You also have to pay attention to the behavior. What does the behavior say? Because ultimately, it is our behavior, our actions, our characteristics, if you will, that sends the real message of what is important, right? Or what's less important. So all behavior communicates, and we need to pay more attention to that and be less distracted by people's words. I hope everybody has a good weekend, and thank you.